I'm back. Yes, here I am. It's October, and this is the first Not So Weekly news since I got my wings back, since I've got membership of Model Flying New Zealand, and I'm back in the air, and I've done a few flights, had a few flights, a bit rusty, got to say, after all that time not flying fixed wing. I'm rusty as hell, but yeah, it didn't break anything, didn't kill anybody, so all good. All good now, and just can't wait to get back into it. But of course it's spring, so we got gale force winds out there at the moment, and it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so you know, Murphy's Law, you can't beat it. So anyway, let's get on with the Not So Weekly news. What have I got here? Yes, there will obviously be lots of flight videos coming up as soon as the weather cooperates. I've got a mountain of fixed wing aircraft here that I bought over the last 3 years, and some of them have never even flown. There's the Bruce Lee EDF, 90mm EDF, I've got the Taft Hobbies Viper Jet, I've got, just too many to mention, and so I've got to get those all together. The ones that are no longer sold, I don't know if they sell a Bruce Lee anymore, I don't think they do, but the ones you can't buy anymore, I'm just going to put them together and fly the snot out of them on the X-Jet channel and have a whole lot of fun, because that's the whole idea of the X-Jet channel. So you'll be able to see them all fly, who knows for how long, on the X-Jet channel, and then the ones you can still buy, of course, will be the subject of full reviews. What have I got here? Oh, yes, and as you can see, I'm cleaning up the workshop. Look at the top shelf. That's as far as I've got. But I'm cleaning up also cleaning up the studio here, because the studio has just basically over the last 3 years has just, well, not even, I don't know if it's 3 years, yeah, has just filled up with junk. I remember when I built the studio, I had it built in, and I put this bench in, and I sort of, oh gosh, there's nothing to put on the bench. It looks empty. And the room really echoed. It was all echoey because there was nothing in here except the carpet and the walls and the roof. So that's changed, hasn't it? I mean, look at this. If we have a sweep around the workshop, around the studio, you can see it's pretty damn full. And there's a lot of stuff here. I've really got to start sort of organising things, because I'm like Dave Jones of the EEV blog. I don't know if any of you watch the EEV blog, but if you're into electronics and things, it's a must subscribe. Go and have a look. And Dave is like myself. He has a studio and he does his filming, and you get to see this much of it. But when he pans around occasionally, it's just like mine. It's full of junk. It's absolutely brimful from floor to ceiling, because from chaos comes creativity. That's my theory, that's my excuse. I'm sure you believe that, don't you? But you know, it just seems to be a common theme amongst some of us who are so busy and really enjoy what we're doing, and we have so many interests, and technology is one of them. So yep, the studio is getting a major cleanup. And outside in the workshop, oh, it's even worse. Don't look. It's just absolutely chock full with models. It's filled with boxes with models in them that I haven't even opened. And of course there's all my my welding gear and my mill and my lathe and my rollers and all sorts of other metal forming gear and so forth. So I've got to do a major cleanup out there. It's going to take a lot of time. So a few hours a day and a couple of trips to the rubbish tip every day. Hopefully we'll have it all sorted in no time. Now I've got a queue of things to be reviewed. I've done most of the reviews of stuff that was here, actually, the stuff that I could review. Through September I worked really hard to try and get as much of the stuff reviewed as possible for obvious reasons. And so I have a server at home that has a hard drive absolutely full. I think it's got about 1 gigabyte of free space while I'm editing stuff up. So there's a lot of videos there that at night I'm working till the wee small hours in the morning to get that up, because it's stuff I know you want to see. But there is other stuff that's in the review queue, not so much, but I'll tell you what's going to be coming up in the next few weeks. First of all, cameras. I've got a snot load of cameras. Geez, I've got so many damn HD cameras that I need to review. I've got, what is it, this one, the Legend one, the Foxeer Legend 1, that's just newly in, that'll be going up there. I've got the, obviously there's the Mobius, there's the RuncamHD, I've had a look at those. There's the Turnigy Action Cam, I've got the standard one and the Wi-Fi one. The benefit of those is a nice LCD screen on the back. I've got the Xiaomi Yi camera, which honestly I've never really been that impressed with. Other people are, not me. I'm going to do a comparison of that. I'm going to put it side by side. I've got the SJ5000, or one of the SJ5000 clones, which I think has got a different name now, but it's, I'll put that up against. I've got all these cameras I'm going to line up on a board, and I'm going to do side by side comparisons so that you can compare the video and the audio, the light handling and all those things directly. So if you're looking at one of these cameras and you want to compare it to something else, choose the one that's best for you, because yeah, they've all got strengths and weaknesses, and so there's no best perhaps, but there's probably one that's more suited to your needs. So that's going to be a major feature, because I don't know anyone that's lined up that many of these cameras before. I've got the Mobius backpack, you know, the video backpack. I've already had a quick look at that. We did a tear down, and that's going to go on a model. I'm going to put it alongside a standard board camera. I'm going to use 2 DVRs, 2 video links, and I'm going to compare it and do the two like I did with the little CMOS camera, the $29 camera set up with the 200 milliwatt video transmitter, the one that I did on the multi-rotor. I can do the same thing with the Mobius backpack. We'll just compare and see how well the two systems work. And it also gives us a good clue as to the latency as well, because we're seeing the standard board camera feed versus the Mobius feed side by side. So if they're out of whack, you know why. What else have I got on here? Oh, the Turnigy A-spec batteries. Now, I've got the RC Timer hexacopter, which, oh, that CC3D in there. Man, I know why Mel Bernard, you know, smashed us up with a hammer. God, so damn frustrating. I've been trying to find a piece of software, the version of software that works with it, and it says it's the wrong version, and then I've tried and update, and then it doesn't work, and oh, it's a $16 controller, I suppose. What do you get for your money? Well, nothing. Not impressed at all. I mean, I'm not, as I've said, I'm not a fan of CC3D. This has certainly not improved my feelings on the matter at all. So if I don't get that sorted, it's going in the bin, and the naseboard's going in there. Really, it's just not much fun, honest. I've also got the Turnigy A-spec batteries that they sent me, a 1300 3 cells, which I'll be trying out on mini-quad. I won't be trying it on this one, which is the ZMR250 version 2, because it's only got the little 1806 motors in it. Tried out on my MXP230 with the Cobra motors, and so we'll see how they hold up. They're looking, from a little bit of a playing around, they seem to be quite good, but we don't know until I actually thrash the snot out of them. Speaking of this machine, actually, this is the one that FPV Model sent me, and as you can see, I've built an antenna for it, and I have managed to get the camera on an angle because, oh, excuse me, I mean, it's so embarrassing. I did that video saying, oh, look, you know, they've got these other positive pads over here. Why didn't they move? Yeah, well, why didn't I just use that other positive pad? Then I can angle the camera, can't I? Duh. Yeah, sorry about that. It was too much work, not enough sleep. So that's what I've done. So now I've got the camera at an angle, as you can hopefully see on there. I got the D4R2 receiver in there, the NAS32 board. I've got the telemetry hooked up, and one thing you'll notice that's missing from this particular one is an ESC. 3 ESCs. Where's the fourth one? Well, you know, when I did the first parts of the review, I said, wouldn't it be nice if manufacturers provided a spare ESC when they did a bundle like this? And you know what? I wish they had, because when I put this on the bench and I fired it up, and don't go nasty at me because I've got propellers on while it's sitting on the bench, because I'd already found this out, and this was, I set it up to do the filming, and it was easier to do it this way. I wasn't going to open the throttle much. You can see that one of the motors just does not spin properly. It just cogs, and yeah, and so I basically tried a different ESC, and it works fine. It's not the motor, it's the ESC, and I don't have any more of these DYS20s with Simon K software on them, because I'm not a fan of Simon K software. So, can't fly it. I'll have to get another ESC from FPV Model, so I get a matched set of 4. But then you think, well, would it be better just to buy some BL Heli ones, or put some BL Heli ones? Because I don't like Simon K. It just doesn't feel as nice as the BL Heli. That's probably highly subjective, so maybe I should get a Simon K one and just compare them. So there you go. This won't be flying for at least a couple of weeks. Yeah, and FPV Model, why not? You know, why not put 5 in? I mean, remember when I did the low-cost mini-quad racer build, I said, don't buy 4, buy 5. That's why. These are cheap products. They have quality control. Doesn't always work, obviously. Now, what else is on this list? Oh, yes. One thing that people have been saying, we want to see, is this. This is the Crossfire from Team Black Sheep. There we go. There's a little module here which plugs into a JR-type module, and then there's your receiver here. This is obviously on 868 megahertz or 900 megahertz, depending on where you live. So it's a UHF system, but only just. It's high UHF, twice the frequency of 433 megahertz, basically. So I'll be doing a teardown on this week. I've already had a bit of a play with this. It's, you know, to give you a sneak preview. Yeah, I like it. Do a teardown. We'll see how well it's built, and I'm going to do some flight tests as well. Now I've just ordered some more test gear so I can do some important tests on this on the bench, because the gear I've got doesn't handle 868 or 900 megahertz. So I've just ordered some more gear to do that. It was the last of my money ordering that. So, but I want to give you the actual technical results, not just a, oh, you know, gosh, look what's in the box thing. So stay tuned for that. And of course, everyone now is saying, what about the damn UHF videos? Well, yes, what about the UHF videos? Well, now that I can fly again, there's going to be a flight test involved as well. Yay, because flight testing was damn near impossible to do previously. So now there'll be a flight test, but part 2 will be going up shortly, and that's basically the on the bench testing, and then we do the flight testing. So yes, that's obviously my #1 priority at the moment. Try and roll those out this week. It was going to be my swan song, but now I'm not going, so it won't be a swan song. There you go. What else is on this list here? Oh, so much stuff to go through. Oh, a lot of people have been saying, especially when I was looking at shutting things down, get a Patreon account, get a Patreon account. So what am I doing? I'm getting a Patreon account. So if you want to sub me a few bucks on a regular basis, you can sign up to Patreon and they'll throw that money into the bank account when it reaches a certain level, I suppose. I don't know, I haven't even been there, but people have told me about Patreon. I'll go and have a look. I'll set up an account. I'll let you know through another video. And if you want to do that, you can just, sign up if you choose to. It's just as well we're doing it now because they had a security leak a few weeks ago now, so but that won't affect you. And of course, in the meantime, if you want to contribute, you can go to the RCModelReviews.com website and you'll find a PayPal donate button. Some people have donated money. It's been wonderful. There's been some really, really lovely people who've donated. I think someone donated $2. Every little bit is, I appreciate it. Now, $2, people might say, oh, just $2. No, $2 is important. Someone has actually gone to the trouble to make a donation. Doesn't matter about the amount. They have donated to the channel, and that's bloody brilliant. I've had a donation of $100 and one of $50. Ooh, that makes a huge difference. Honestly, it really makes a huge difference. I can buy products to review with that sort of money. That's bloody great. So those people, thank you very much indeed. Now, what else? So I'll tell you more about the Patreon when I get it done. But what I plan to do, and I discussed this a while ago in a video, is I'm going to try and give people who support the channel a bit more value. So there'll be some videos that they'll get to see first, and maybe some videos that only they will get to see. One of the things I'll be covering in some of those videos is my sense and avoid system. Now, obviously, I haven't been able to do much in the way of testing because of the issues that have gone on, but now the way is clear. Now I can get back to the development and testing of the sense and avoid system, and I will be doing that with a vengeance. I'm setting aside 3 hours of every day, probably the first 3 hours of the day, so I'll probably roll up here at about 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I'll be working through until 11 or so on the sense and avoid system. And I'm going to do a bit of a diary, a bit of a regular video update on that. I won't be showing people a secret sauce, but I will be showing you how I'm doing things and what I'm doing and the results of some of the tests, so you'll get to see first whether it works or whether it crashes and burns. And so people who are subbing me a reasonable amount through Patreon or doing a YouTube donation on a regular basis, they'll get to see that stuff. And whether I make it public or not, I don't know. But there'll be other stuff as well. I've got a few projects coming up for the summer too. One of them is an S-bus inverter, because, hey, if you're using FreeSky or Futaba and you want to use an A's board, then it's actually not that easy because the signal comes out inverted, upside down basically. You need to flip it up the right way. So I'm going to do it's a really, really simple little electronics project. If you've never made anything electronic before in your life, then this is a great way to get started if you want to use your S-bus receivers with the Naze 32 board, whether it's running clean flight or base flight. Because I noticed Chad Nowak, the US drone racing national champion, he switched to S-bus from PWM, PPM, and he was amazed at the difference. He was gobsmacked at just how much more locked in everything was with the lower latency that S-bus can give you. So if that's the case, we can all benefit, and I'll make it easier. We're looking at under $1 in parts, so it's not going to be an expensive project, and there's only about 5 components. Super, super simple. You can even make your own circuit board with an X-Acto knife. It's that simple. Anyway, we'll show you how to do that if you're interested. And there may be a few other ones as well. A lot of people have been pestering me to do the, remember I built a 4-channel diversity controller, and I was going to do more with that, but then I did the really simple 2-channel one that didn't require any programming. It was just an analog one. A lot of people still want the 4-channel digital one, so I will probably continue to finish that off and publish all the specs for that for you as well if you want to get into that. What else have we got? Now, during September, a number of companies approached me and said, we've got products, would you like to review? And I said no, because I'm not going to be in a position to review them. And I don't want to accept products that I'm not going to be able to review. And I'm going to go back to some of those companies. Now, one of them obviously was Immersion with the Vortex. They said, would you like to review a Vortex? And I know a lot of people have been asking me, when are you going to review the Vortex? Well, hopefully now it'll happen. I'll get back to Immersion and say, yes, I'm happy to review your Vortex, because it's a really interesting part of the hobby now as mini-quad racing. And we've already seen that Walkera stepped up to the plate and failed. Bit of an epic fail, really. And just to show you how off-target their vision is, they've now released the Runner 250 with GPS on it. And it's a fine little quad for flying around. It's just a different form factor to the QRX 350 and things. But it's not a racing quad. You don't put GPS on a racing quad. You don't have an OSD obscuring half the vision on a racing quad. It's just not what you do. So the Vortex, of course, is a different tack again. It's a different level. It's a much more sophisticated, much more professional product made to a higher spec. So I'm really looking forward to reviewing that and comparing it to anything else that's on the market in a ready-to-fly form, because a lot of people, they just don't have the time, the inclination or the skill to put one together. So something like the Vortex, it's got a real market out there. We'll see if it's up to the mark, see whether it passes the tests that I put it to. Also from that part of the spectrum, I noticed that Fatshark have got their version 2 Dominator HDs. Now the first version, there were a lot of problems. A lot of people just couldn't use them because the optics weren't flexible enough, and they had a few other issues. So they sort of pulled them off the market. Now they've come out with version 2, and I'm really keen to see how well they perform. I've been using the Sky Zones, and reliability turned out to be an issue with the 3D Sky Zones. I'm still repairing the unit. I think I gave you a bit of a sneak peek of that. It's going now. Oh no, intermittent fault. It wasn't going, and now it's going. So how do you, and I've been trying to make it fault, and it won't fault. That's the worst kind of fault you can get in a piece of gear, because you cannot use a set of FPV glasses that have a fault that you haven't fixed, because at any time they could stop. And it's dangerous. You can't be flying along suddenly, oh, it's all black, because who knows what will happen. So at least if they were completely faulty, it'd be easy to find the problem. So that's really, I'm pulling my hair out over that one. So if I know Fatshark's products have always been reliable for me. I've got the original base edition, which still work. I've got the Attitudes, which still work. I've got the Dominators, the original Dominators, which still work. So yeah, I'm hoping that if I can get my hands on a set of the Dominator V2 HDs, that they will also be really, really nice, and they will work as well. But I don't know. Heads up, if you want to see an unboxing, go over to BMSWeb. Thomas and Paul will they've got a set, lucky buggers, they've got a set in advance, and they have had a look at what's in the box. They're going to do a bit of a flight review on them as well, which is great. That's really, really good. So good luck to them with that. I enjoyed the video they put up. So there's a link to that in this video. If you're not a subscriber to BMSWeb, then go and subscribe, because Thomas and Paul are really, really great guys, and they offer some really interesting perspectives on the products they review. Yeah, they're my competition, but hey, there's no competition in this hobby. It's all about everyone working together, a bit of synergy. We cover things from different aspects, and I watch their channel, so why shouldn't you? Yeah, go and watch it. What else have I got here? Oh yeah, I think just to make the weekly news less boring, instead of me just talking my head off here, ranting and raving, I've decided that I shall have a question in every weekly news so that you will have to answer it. And this week's question is, have you ever flown a model in a jacket and tie? Have you? Why would I ask? Well, look at this picture from the mid-1980s. It's from the cover of a magazine called Radio Control Models and Electronics. That's right, Radio Control Models and Electronics, RCM&E. And look at these guys. They've got some nitro combat wings, but look how they're dressed. They've got jackets and a tie and lovely pressed polyester trousers. My goodness, have you ever flown that dressed up? Especially a nitro model. Imagine all the castor oil all over your clothes at the end of the day. What a fiasco. Anyway, what is the flashiest you've ever dressed up to fly RC models? And what do you usually wear when you fly RC models? With me, it's jeans and a t-shirt, or it's shorts and a t-shirt in the summer. What about you? Anyway, that's it. That's the question of the week. So thank you for watching. If you've got questions, if you've got comments, anything to say at all, then please leave them in the place provided below the description on this video. And now I want to get on with producing some real kick-ass reviews and some really fun videos on XJet. So stay tuned. In the meanwhile, I'll catch you later.